So this week we're going to be returning to this notion of somatic practice that was introduced in Module 1. And the reason we're doing that is that, this course isn't just about taking action, though it is, that's crucial. Half of this course is really dedicated to being, that to really change the future, it's going to take us being a different kind of human race. And that's not going to happen through an intellectual exercise. It's not going to happen necessarily just because you want it to. It's going to happen through practice. And so these somatic practices are meant to help us embody some of the principles that we want. And this one that we're going to do today is really to help us when we are under stress and triggered. And so we are going to center, we're going to use the exercise from last week, centering in the 4 dimensions, using story. And in particular, what you're going to start out with is picking a story, maybe in the news or culturally, but the more specific the better, that really triggers you. And luckily there is tons to choose from right now. But pick something that really grabs you, that even just the thought of it really gets under your skin. We're going to practice holding that story, confronting that story, and holding center. If this works the way we want, you actually should feel a little uncomfortable. We want to invite that story, and we're going to center at the same time to practice coming to center so that we can be more choiceful when we are triggered. So really hold that story, bring it forth in your consciousness and your imagination. And as we center, we're just going to take a breath and really allow our bodies to arrive. And the first dimension you're going to center in is your length, a sort of vertical bar from the top of your head down to your feet, really allowing yourself to almost elongate to that dimension of yourself. And as you do it, bring forth the story that triggers you, the story that's out there that knocks you off center. You want to hold that story while embodying your length, what we call the dimension of your dignity and the dignity of others. Really allowing your body and noticing what happens when you invite your body to embody this dimension of yourself. Moving from the dimension of your length to the dimension of your width. And Stacey Haynes in Module 1 talks about we're often encouraged to sort of shrink, to close in on ourselves. So almost unfurling like a scroll from the center of your chest out, becoming aware of your width. From shoulder tip to shoulder tip, allowing your body to fill out your width while holding this story present with you that triggers you, that pulls you, knocks you off center. Embodying your width, which we sometimes call your relational space or the dimension of community. Really where you're able to connect to others while connecting to yourself, holding this story, also bringing forth your length. So connecting to width, connecting to length, while holding the story that triggers you. Noticing what comes up. You might feel physically uncomfortable, numb, just becoming cognizant and almost literate to what your body is telling you. Moving from your width to your depth, starting with your back. Maybe pick a spot on your back where your shirt touches your back, really focusing your attention there. This dimension of our ancestors, our past, our stories. And bringing forth the story that triggers you. And moving your attention from your back through your insides and your guts to your front. Maybe picking a spot on your chest or your belly or the tips of your knees where your pants touch. To hold this space and all of it in between while bringing forth this story that triggers you. Remembering these 4 dimensions that we actually have available to us as we hold the story that triggers us, that knocks us off center, while holding our depth, our connection to our front, our future, our connection to our back, our ancestors and our past, to our width, our capacity to connect, and our length, our dignity. Filling out these 4 dimensions and returning to your center, just below your belly button. And as we close this out, bringing forth what you love, what you deeply care about, and in some way what motivates your actions. Whatever that is, holding that, bringing that forth and giving it light and attention, while holding the stories that trigger you. And coming back, bringing your attention here. So, like any practice, this really needs to be done over and over again. Through repetition, you become gradually more able to be choiceful. So however it feels, it might feel a little awkward at first. Really commit yourself to doing it literally every day. Stacy suggests that you do it 5 times a day. You can do it sitting down, in a car, on the bus, to really practice with being choiceful with when you're triggered. Good luck.